What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Head of the Game Podcast. Like, subscribe, don't forget to cut those notifications on. We got another instant reaction. We just had the Eagles get pounded by the Giants. Let's get right into it, man. This is the problem with Philly. Philly has no identity, and they have so many good players that it's putting Jalen Hurts in the middle of a situation. Let me explain. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback, of course, of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has Saquon Barkley, he has Devontae Smith, he has AJ Brown. All hell of players. He's in the middle of, I have to make everybody happy. And you can see it tonight. Let's run the ball with Saquon. Let's get the ball to Saquon to start the game. Okay, let's get the ball to AJ Brown. Okay, let's get the ball to AJ Brown. Okay, let's get the ball to Devontae Smith. And then when in the later stages of the game, you can kind of see it's getting forced now. They're having private meetings. He's in the middle of a lot of egos, and that's what happens when you have a lot of talented players on one team. Winning games is all good, but as a professional athlete, you still want your numbers. You still want to have the 100 yards. You still want to have the touchdowns. You still want to have the catches. No matter how many games you win, unless you're a journeyman player or you're a player that isn't a star or a superstar, you don't care about numbers. But if you're a superstar, you want to win plus have your numbers. And that is wrong. That's what's wrong with Philadelphia. That's one thing that's wrong with Philadelphia that I saw. Jalen Hurts is in the middle of a lot of egos. He's trying to do his best to keep everybody happy. And I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts played perfect or he did everything perfect tonight. The things that I saw was when everything's going good, they're scoring points, they're able to run the ball a little bit, they're able to get the ball to their players, everybody's good, everybody's happy. But when they pan that camera onto the sideline, when they're down and they're out and it's not looking so well, everybody's divided. Saquon's over here, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown over there, Jalen Hurts over there. When shit is going bad, everybody's divided. You get what I'm saying? And that's the problem with Philadelphia. Their identity used to be running the ball. But now they hear all the outside noise. Jalen Hurts doesn't do this. AJ Brown's going to be unhappy. Devontae Smith says, shit, I'm not happy either. So now it's, when stuff is going good, everybody's getting the ball. Everybody's getting their catches, their touches. Everybody's happy. But when shit hits the fan, you're only down 10 points. You can, and Jalen Hurts overthrew that pass. You can see Saquon over there, Jalen Hurts over there, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown over there. They're divided. This is a team, it's going to come to a head eventually. And Howard's going to have to make that decision to either get rid of some players or Sirianni's going to have to step up as a head coach to keep these guys together. Because usually you're only down 10 points. The game's not out of reach. Usually a team is like, okay, hold on, we need to do this, we need to do that. But they're divided. If you guys didn't watch the game, they pan to the sideline of the Eagles. Everybody's pouting. Everybody's divided because shit is not going good. They're down 10. Jalen Hurts just overthrew a touchdown. Then he threw the interception. It's the same thing. They're divided. Another issue with Philly is that offensive line isn't as dominant as they used to be. Let me tell you one big player that I think that they're missing, and that's Mekhi Becton at guard. They are missing his presence a whole lot because there's not a lot of a 6'6", 300-something guards as athletic as Mekhi Becton was for them last year, and it's showing. He is a huge loss at that. He is a huge loss because him moving a guard was the best decision for him because he's a very athletic big dude, and see him pulling. You don't want a head-on collision with that. I don't care who you are. You do not want a head-on collision with Mekhi Becton, and this offensive line. They're not as big and powerful as they used to be. Of course, they can do the tush push. That's 1-2 yards, but they used to steamroll teams, and that's not the case anymore. That is not the case. And for this Eagles team, they were stats wise 1 for 10 on third down against the New York Giants. No offense. They have a great pass rush. They have great guys that can get to the quarterback, but 1 for 10 on third down. That's embarrassing. Saquon Barkley, again, can't get him started. He had 2 good runs. He had 30 yards in the first quarter. I think he ended with 60 yards total. There's no consistency on the run game. The Philadelphia Eagles, they have no identity. Their identity used to be running the ball, but now when outside noise gets into your locker room, they don't have an identity. They do not have an identity. And you can blame this on coaching. You can blame this on coordinators. Players play. And the thing about Philly is they have so many great players, and Howie Roseman does a hell of a job that it's going to be a lot of egos, and it's a lot of egos. And the player that Jalen Hurts is, he's a leader, but he's not going to make you check your ego at the door. And that's one thing that I think he needs to develop. As his career goes on, I think Jalen Hurts needs to start making sure people leave their egos at the door. And that's one thing that Tom Brady always did. I'm not comparing Jalen Hurts to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady made sure Antonio Brown, leave your ego at the door or you're gone. Randy Moss, ego at the door or you're gone. Ocho Cinco, Chad, leave your ego. And he even said it himself. He couldn't be himself, so what did he do? He left. Jalen Hurts is a hell of a leader, but he needs to step up and start making this his team. That's the difference I'm seeing in Philly. You need to start making this your team. You're the quarterback, you're the leader, and these players they're divided right now. You just lost two back-to-back games, and I think it's gonna come to a head eventually. And I think Howie's gonna have to make some big moves and start getting rid of some players because, as you can see, certain teams in the league, they know whose team it is. It's Josh Allen's team. It's Mahomes' team. Shit, it's Burrow's team. Even if they got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, it's his team. Right now, Jalen Hurts, he's a great leader, but he's not commanding that this is his team. You can have all these private meetings and you can have all these, meetings with the players, but you got to start saying, hey, man, I'm the quarterback, and if the game is flowing the way the game is flowing, I can get you the ball. But if it's not flowing and we dominate on the run game, come on, man, we trying to win another Super Bowl. And I don't think he does. I think he's a chill, laid back, yeah, I get you the ball, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry, I'm going to get you. No, he's not demanding players follow him. And that's an issue players wise. Again, you can blame the coaches, you can blame coordinators. Players play. As good as they are, players play. Defensively, the Eagles have a big problem everywhere. That D-line can't get any pressure without Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. Again, hey, 2 hell of a players, but if you know they're out, you gotta scheme around that. They can't get pressure without Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, and those are 2 big losses on the defense, and I get it. But to not have no type of backup plan or no type of rotation where you can get a little bit of pressure, because the Giants' O-line they're not steamrollers. Defensive back-wise, without Quinyon Mitchell, you got Adoree Jackson and Ringo out there. It's going to be a long night. Defensively, I think defensively, they got out-physical. They got out-toughed on both sides of the ball. Defensive line, offensive line beat the hell out of the Eagles today. Physicality, they got out physical today. Again, the Eagles are 4-2. It is what it is, but it's a lot of things after 6 games they got to fix, man. Offensively, Howie's going to have to make some choices. If he wants to keep, these players around, some players are going to have to check their egos at the door. And if they want to win games, they can stay. If they don't want to win, if they want to win but have their numbers, you got to send them somewhere else. You know what I mean? That's just a tough decision that you're going to have to make as a GM, because watching that game and being 1 for 10 on third down, and Saquon starting the game off with 30 yards in the first quarter, ending with 60 or however many he ended. And then when shit goes wrong, they're panning the camera at those guys and they're all divided. That says a lot. That says a lot. Saquon over here, Jalen over here, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown over there. They're divided. That is showing a lot. And I really want you guys, if you guys didn't catch that, to really go back and watch how divided they are when shit is going bad. When shit is going good, they're all happy. They're all of them are bunched up, sitting on the sideline together, all back. They're good. But when stuff is bad, they're all divided. And that's a problem because it's a long season and everything isn't going to be good every game. Defensively, I think they'll get it together. You know what I mean? You get Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter back, Quinyon Mitchell back. I mean, you're missing a lot of Pro Bowl, all pro players on the defensive side, so I get it. It's going to be tough. Again, you're missing a lot of players. And that for the Eagles is offensively, and this team is going to be tough. All season, I think it's going to be tough until they get it together and people start really buckling down with each other and stop being so divided when stuff isn't going good. For the Giants, you can't say enough about the Giants. Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo, those two have brought a new energy to New York, and I've said it in past videos. That's all it takes to win games. Bring energy to the whole team and to the city. When you have a guy like Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo, they're fired up. That gets your defense fired up, and you can rally behind that and play. You can play. What's the word I'm looking for? Coincide with each other. I'm shooting a blank right now, but complementary football. There it goes. When you can play complementary football, when your offense is rolling, even if they're not rolling, but you can see, they getting going. You got Skattebo. Everybody say Skattebo's like a bad child. I've seen videos of them saying he's like a badass little kid. When the defense sees that, that gets them fired up. You got Brian Burns, Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Dexter. You got boys over there, and they're following this guy. They're following these guys, these rookies. And Brian Daboll, he saved his job. He pulled the plug after 3 games, and I made a video saying how long is the moon ball gonna win you games with Russell Wilson. He pulled him after 3 games, and I might have said they can go 6 and whatever. They cannot win games, but as long as you can see the future happening, I think everybody in New York is happy. Because with a rookie quarterback right now, you can see it. Even when the Bengals had Joe Burrow, they could see it. They didn't win a lot of games, but they could still see it. As long as you can see them making progress and you can see the city behind you, the defense is behind you. They got to Jalen Hurts, I think, 3 times. And I think Burns had 2 of them. I'm not sure about the stat, but this kid, he's running the ball 60 yards, throwing the ball, and he looked very, 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 very good passing the ball today. I think he was like something of 19. I'm not sure about the direct numbers, but he threw for at least like 100 and something yards and rushed for 50 yards. And then I think Skattebo had over 100 yards. This team is going to rally behind these 2 rookies, and I think this is looking like a Detroit Lions type of rebuild right now, where you can see that they're drafting right. They got the coach. I think they got the coach, and I think they got the GM. I think you can see it. They're getting there. They're drafting right. They got the right guys in there, and it's gonna keep building. I think the Giants are gonna have a Detroit Lions type of rebuild. Everybody's seen the Detroit Lions coming. Everybody's seen it. They were drafting well. They had the head coach. They had the GM. They had golf in there. Everybody could see that. Okay, hold on. They're coming. Now I think the New York Giants, with that front, they already got the front 4. They got the front 4 on defense. Now I think they're gonna have a rebuild like the Lions. If they keep drafting, they've drafted Skattebo. They drafted Jackson Dart. You know what I mean? You draft Abdul Carter. You trade for Brian. They're making all the right moves right now, and I think that they're on the uptrend. Again, the Giants, they're building. There's not a lot of, today I think they played almost a perfect game. They played a perfect game. They held the Eagles to 17 points, and they stopped Saquon Barkley. And you see what happens when you stop Saquon Barkley. The Eagles have no clue what to do on offense. And for, the Giants to have a 100-yard rusher, 3 touchdowns, and for them to not have Malik Neighbors, for them to not have Darius Slayton, they're big 2 top, guys, and you bring in a guy like Lil Jordan Humphrey, Wan'Dale Robertson. He's always been a reliable guy, but for this team, I think the Giants, they're on the uptrend. You know what I mean? I think, if they would have won that game against New Orleans, they'll be 3-4 right now, right in the middle of the, in the season. But, stuff happens. But I think the Giants are going to have a Detroit Lions type of rebuild if they keep doing what they're doing, because that energy is contagious. that energy that they bring in, especially Skattebo, he's bringing the energy. Him and Jackson Dart, I think they're gonna be with each other for a long time, years to come, because the city is New York is behind these guys, these two rookies at that 22, 23-year-old rookies, and you got the defense behind. Everybody's behind these guys because they bring that energy. Win, lose, draw, fumble, interception. They still bring the energy. They never get down. And that's what you need when you're trying to build your team in the right direction. But for Philly, like I said, it's a lot of egos in there. They are divided, and you're putting Jalen Hurts in a situation that I think he's over it. You're putting him in a situation where he's trying to get everybody the ball. It's a lot of egos. They want the ball and they want to win. And I'm not going to say that's not a good recipe, but when you got two wide receivers and a running back that want the ball and they still want to win but still have their numbers, for a guy like Jalen Hurts, I think, he has to start demanding some things from his team if he wants it to be his team. Again, this was another episode of the Ahead of the Game podcast. I appreciate you guys for listening to me rant and rumble about football. I love talking about football, but, don't forget to like, subscribe, make sure the notifications are on, and I will see you guys on the next one.